Hey language luminaries, welcome to Smart English World. Today I will be speaking about an important teaching from the Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 17, verse 8, which explains how food affects our body, mind, and overall well-being. Let me begin with the meaning of the verse. The verse says that foods which increase life, purity, strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction are juicy, smooth, nourishing, and pleasing to the heart. These foods are dear to people who are in the mode of goodness, also known as sattva. Now, when it comes to sattva guna, we should be able to understand the difference. The difference is sattva means positive, and we are getting encouraged to eat food which is part of our diet, but the diet which I want you to follow is simple. Now, a simple Sattvic diet plan is early morning between 6 to 7 a.m. Start the day with warm water. You can also have soaked almonds or raisins. This helps in digestion and gives gentle energy. Breakfast between 7:30 to 9 a.m. Eat light and nourishing food such as fruits like banana, apple, or papaya. You can also have milk, porridge, or simple upma or poha. Mid-morning, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Fresh fruit juice or coconut water. This keeps the body hydrated and fresh. Lunch. This should be the main meal of the day, which includes rice or chapati with whole grains, dal or lentils, cooked vegetables like spinach, carrot, beans, curd or butter. The food should be freshly cooked, mildly spiced, and balanced. Evening snack. Light snacks like fruits, nuts, or herbal tea. Avoid fried or packed food. Dinner. 7 to 8:30 p.m. Keep dinner light. You can have khichdi, vegetable soup, or chapati with vegetables. Avoid having heavy or oily food at night. Before bed. A glass of warm milk optional, which helps in relaxation and better sleep. This type of diet is sattvic because it is fresh, simple, nourishing, and easy to digest. It supports both physical health and mental peace. Now, let's head towards the questions. What qualities define sattvic food according to the verse? Sattvic food is fresh, juicy, nourishing, mild, and pleasing. It increases life, strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. But when it comes to sattvic food, we should understand the importance of having sattvic food. When it comes to sattvic food, we should be able to differentiate between the gunas. And the gunas are part of the curriculum of ours. For example, if we want to have fresh cooked food, those are the meals which we want to have. But when it comes to the nervousness which we have, that is, we want to pronounce meals instead of meals. But if we pronounce meals instead of meals, then there's a difference. That means we are nervous, and when we're speaking, we try to, and then we try to extend. So that means we try to extend the speech, not the word. But when it comes to the nervousness which you have, that is when we speak to a person, we try to, and I was trying to imitate the person who's trying to help the person who's trying to insult you to understand that you're smart. That means trying to imitate you because I want you to grow in your life. Now, when we pronounce any words, we have to understand the difference between the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. The Bhagavad Gita classifies food into three categories based on the qualities called as gunas. Sattva means purity, rajas means activity, and tamas means inertia. Verse 17, chapter 17, verse 8 focuses on Sattvic food, which is considered the best type of food for both physical and mental health. Sattvic food is fresh, natural, and wholesome. It includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, milk, and mildly prepared foods. These foods are not overly spicy, oily, or processed. They are light, easy to digest, and nourishing. Let's now the second question is the first question is what qualities define sattvic food according to this verse, and I explained the gunas. How does food influence mental and physical health? Now, when it comes to food, we should be able to categorize the degrees of our health. That is, first degree is the mental health, which is at the highest or the intuitive mind. Second is the mental health, which has to be in place with the cerebral and not the cerebellum. When it comes to the cerebellum, we should be able to understand that the speech which gets transferred will be part of the brain and not the neurocells. The neurocells are just part of the brain, but the nerves are part of the brain because we want the, for example, if we have dry fruits, we want the dry fruits to help us to think like a developer, for example. So we pass the thought, I want to learn like a developer, I want to grow as a developer, not learn as a developer. So that means if you are able to making grammatical mistakes, that means your brain is not functioning the way your mouth wants it to function. So now let us now discuss how we can apply the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita in our life, where we can start comparing the other types of food, that is the sattvic foods, with the foods which are packed. So now sattvic food is fresh, neutral, natural, and wholesome. According to the verse, food such food increases longevity, and this means it helps us to live longer and healthier lives. It also improves vitality, which is our energy level and enthusiasm. When we eat the right kind of food, we feel active and positive throughout the day. The verse also mentions strength and health. Sattvic food build physical strength and support proper functioning of the body. At the same time, they promote mental health, mental clarity, and emotional balance, and not mental health. There's a difference. That is, when we consume the food, it should be filling. If it's not filling, then it affects our mood. And if it affects our mood, we will not be able to balance our diet. So we have to have food which makes us feel calm, peaceful, and content. Now let us think about why the Bhagavad Gita connects food with our mental state. So now the third question is give examples of foods that may be considered sattvic. The foods which may be considered as sattvic are chips, mixture, and meals which have garlic and onion. So these are what I'm trying to convey is the fried food which we have cannot be considered as sattvic even if it's been deep fried. Okay, so now, or we call it as bendekai in Kannada, and in uh, in other language, and so I want you to make a note of these. This is lady's finger, okay, in English. So I want you to make a note of this vegetable, that is lady's finger, because we have to, when we buy the vegetables, we should be able to buy at least a quantity of vegetables which will help you to grow. Okay, so now the reason I want you to make a note of lady's finger is because it is easily available in any shop, and you can, and since I'm staying in Karnataka, I know the pronunciation of lady's finger in Kannada. But when it comes to buying the vegetables, we have to pronounce the words the way the shopkeeper wants us to pronounce, so that we can understand the benefits of having the vegetable. Okay, so I want you to have a conversation with the shopkeeper so that you can understand the diet plan which you can follow based, or you can make a diet plan which you can follow. Okay, so now let's look at some examples of sattvic food. Fresh fruits like apples, bananas, and mangoes are sattvic. Vegetables like spinach, carrots, and cucumbers are included. Whole grains like rice and wheat, along with milk, nuts, and seeds, are considered beneficial. Food that is freshly cooked and eaten in moderation is also sattvic. The way food is prepared and consumed matters. Eating with gratitude and mindfulness enhances its positive effects. Now let's briefly compare this with other types of food mentioned in the same chapter. Rajasic food is very spicy, sour, salty, or stimulating. It may give temporary pleasure but can lead to restlessness or discomfort. Tamasic food is stale, overcooked, or processed. It can make a person feel dull, lazy, or inactive. So the Gita encourages us to choose sattvic food for a balanced and peaceful life. Now let us now discuss how we can apply this teaching in our daily life. First, we can try to include more fresh and natural foods in our diet. Instead of packed snacks, we can choose fruits or homemade meals. Second, we can avoid overheating and eat at regular times. Discipline in eating habits is important. So, I answered the fourth question: why is sattvic food considered beneficial for spiritual growth? Third, we should eat in a calm environment. Avoid distractions like mobile phones or television while eating. Fourth, we can practice gratitude before meals. Being thankful for our food creates a positive mindset. So, how can this teaching be applied in our daily life? So, the answer is we should remember that food is not just physical fuel, it also influences our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. So, Bhagavad Gita Chapter 17, verse 8 teaches us the quality of food we eat as and has a direct impact in our life. Sattvic food promotes health, happiness, and inner peace. By making conscious food choices, we can improve not only our physical well-being but also our mental and spiritual growth. Now, when it comes to sattvic food, we should be able to understand the benefits of having almond. Okay, so now when we think about having almond, it boosts brain function. So it has vitamin E and it has healthy fats which will help us to have the dry fruit. We can chew the dry fruit completely because it's easy to chew. And when we move our mouth, we should chant a mantra or recite a verse from the Bhagavad Gita so that we can chew the food and the food should get digested. Improves heart health. I tested this uh, dry fruit on my father and it worked. It is good for his heart and it is good for my mother's heart also when it comes to my heart. So when it comes to the line which I wanted to quote, but I became nervous because when I was thinking about my father, I thought that when my father was not feeling well, he had to think about his physical health, where he had to stay away from having oily food. So I became nervous. So I was trying to help you to understand that when we become nervous, we think about our mother and not our father. But when we think about our father, we should be able to understand that almonds help us to reduce bad cholesterol and support a healthy heart. And it gives long lasting energy. So that means almonds provide protein, health fats, and fiber, giving steady energy throughout the day without sudden crashes. And it strengthens our bones. And we can take care of our hair. It helps in weight management, which is important. Even though they are calorie dense, almonds keep you full for longer, reducing an unnecessary snacking. What do you mean by snacking? Now, snacking means you feel like having any food at any time. So now you have to understand that if you want to have roasted almonds, you have to soak the almonds for at least 5 or 6 and you have to have a quantity of almonds which can help you to lose weight. Do not overheat the almonds. Avoid salted or roasted almonds which is natural, but if you want to have roasted almonds you can add salt, but don't add chili powder or pepper because when you roast the almond the nutrition level is high, and when after you finish roasting the almonds you will realize that the nutrition will start accumulating on the peel of the almonds. So after you have the almonds you will feel that it is tasty but it is not good for health. So the best way to eat almonds is to soak at least 5 or 10 almonds in the night. Peel the skin in the morning and eat them on an empty stomach. This method improves nutrition, absorption and digestion. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat window below. And if you feel that my channel is helping you to um, focus on a diet plan, then I want you to comment diet or healthy diet in the comment section. Thank you. Have a great day.